I want to go back to the one thing you said was the most damaging, which is head trauma. You very generously invited me here, and we spent an afternoon. And you put me through the battery of tests you do at the Amen Clinic, the diagnostic test, which I found fast. I learned so much about myself that I had no idea. You ended by taking a scan of my brain. The SPECT, is it?
SPECT.
The SPECT scan. And you put it up on a big screen, like where we see the Dan Buettner Podcast here. And you literally spun my brain around, and you gave me good news and bad news. The bad news was I had a concussion about a year earlier. I wiped out on my on my inline skates, and you could see it. And I remember you pointed to it on my brain, and it was so clear, like, oh my God, there's the damage. But then the good news, you said, I've seen 30,000 scans or something. I can tell you don't have a sign of Alzheimer's. And I'm wondering do you remember that scan and how you were able to make those two conclusions?
Yeah, SPECT, single photon emission computed tomography. It's a nuclear medicine study that looks at blood flow and activity. And our database now is almost 300,000 scans. And traumatic brain injury is really clear, right? You see focal decreased activity. So a discrete area of decreased activity right next to a very sharp bony ridge. But Alzheimer's, which I can tell years, probably decades ahead of time, if your brain is headed that way, bilateral, both sides, parietal lobe, top back part of your brain decreases. That's why people get lost, and decreases in their temporal lobes. And you didn't have
the shape
that
of the brain
at all.
turns, you're saying.
Well, it's these areas start to die. And so in my study, you see decreased blood flow in those areas. But what a lot of people don't realize is you can make it better. Like I did the big NFL study when the NFL was sort of not telling the truth about traumatic brain injury in football, high levels of damage. Stop lying about it. It's a brain damaging sport. But 80% of our players get better when we put them on a rehabilitation program. You might have heard about that kid that went to New York and shot all those people. He was going to the NFL offices because he said he had CTE. The problem is the messaging around CTE is flawed. It's, yes, chronic hits to the head is bad for you, but the messaging is CTE is chronic, progressive, and untreatable, and that's a lie. That we have seen you can absolutely reverse the damage if you put the brain in a healing environment. And that's what I recommended for you. It's like get in a hyperbaric chamber. Here are some supplements that can be helpful. Avoid things that hurt your brain, do things that help your brain. And if I scanned you today and you did the things I asked you to do, your brain would be better.
Yeah, I did. I took your, it was Brain MD supplements, and I took it easy. I got more sleep. I ate healthy. I feel my brain is as sharp or perhaps sharper than it was. I was for sure cognitively challenged after I had 2 concussions in a row. But in general,
one on your bike, if I remember.
That's right. Yeah, good memory.
You hit a chain or something.
Oh my God, I can't believe you see all these patients. You remember me from a year and a half ago. That's exactly right. Yes, I biked to dinner, and then on the way back from dinner, somebody put a chain over the path, which I didn't see, and I was doing about 20 miles an hour, and all of a sudden my bicycle was doing 0 miles an hour, and I was flying headfirst into the pavement, and that was concussion number 2 in about a 6-month period.
Yeah.
And that was not good. Luckily, I was wearing a helmet. But just to drill down a little bit, because a lot of people listening here will have they would have played football or they would have hit their head significantly. What's the general protocol and maybe a little bit more detail? I suspect I've had a concussion. What should I do?
Well, if you notice a change, sadder, more irritable, very common, memory problems, forgetting names. It's a good idea to look at your brain, to actually go, let me look, right? I often say psychiatrists are the only medical doctors who virtually never look at the organ they treat. Think about that. Last year, there were 340 million prescriptions written for antidepressants, and virtually none of those people had their brains looked at. So they're flying blind. And so I think looking is a good idea. And then care about it, avoid things that hurt it. So one of the things that hurts your brain is sugar. Isn't that interesting? So they did this study at UCLA where they took rats, gave them a head injury purposefully, not nice. One group, they gave them their regular healthy diet. The other group, they added fructose or fruit sugar to their diet. After 3 weeks, the group with the added sugar couldn't remember the mazes they were running. The group with the healthy diet could run the mazes just fine. So what's on the sidelines of football games? Gatorade, which is sugar water.
Yeah, it's
and
just
we're
so
not
wrong.
even thinking about what we put in our bodies, and are we encouraging the brain to heal or not? What we used in the NFL study is we taught them to love and care for their brains, multiple vitamin with high doses of B6, B12, and folate, because those three have been shown to decrease the conversion of mild cognitive impairment on the way to Alzheimer's disease, to actually getting Alzheimer's disease. We also did high-dose, high-quality omega-3 fatty acids to decrease inflammation. Almost 95% of the general population is low in omega-3 fatty acids. Crazy.
Where's the best place to get omega-3 fatty acids?
From fish, healthy fish.
Yeah.
Or taking fish oil. And then we put them on a brain boost that works in 6 different ways. Ginkgo, one of my favorite supplements. The prettiest brains I've ever seen take ginkgo because it increases blood flow. Huperzine A, which boosts acetylcholine. Phosphatidylserine for nerve cell membrane stabilization. And those 3 supplements, and 80% of our players were better just by caring about their brain and using supplements.
Yes. You have to care and you have to know what to do.
Simple, right? And ultimately, I'm working on this big idea of a national brain health revolution. So imagine if America became the world's first brain healthy nation. What if everybody, like we got schools, prisons, churches, families, businesses, to just ask one question every day. Is what I'm doing good for my brain or bad for it? And if I can answer that with information and love of myself, love of my family, love of the reason I'm on earth, I just start making better decisions. But most people never ask the question.
That's right. Yeah, we don't think about it. And it starts with thinking about it, then given the right information. And then, of course, you have to take action. And it all starts with that.
And I'm working on this Whole 4 program, which I think you'll like. It's Whole 4 is what can you do for your brain and body? What can you do to support your mind? What can you do to support your relationships? And what can you do to truly live with a sense of meaning and purpose? And too often in psychiatry, it's like, oh, here's your brain. You have a serotonin deficiency, take an SSRI, which I think is completely insane. And there's actually new research that suggests SSRIs increase your risk of dementia.
Oh.
Like, swallow that one. No, it's all 4. It's physical, psychological, social, spiritual.
So if you like that clip, there's a lot more where that came from. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you won't miss our new videos as they come out each week.